Before we get in the video, please like, make sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications, go ahead and leave a comment below, and click on the How You Can Help, which brings up the Family Friendly Game website and gives you lots of ideas how you can help us. Thank you. Hey everybody, how are you all doing? Hopefully y'all are doing awesome. For those who don't know, I am Paul Burry, Family Friendly Gaming, doing another Twitch stream. Of course, it'll be transformed into a video of The Legend Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4. This is episode 36. I usually play for around an hour, sometimes a bit more. Alright, so we gotta move forward to move the story along. Sounds like the meeting is over. All the bigwigs met. Here they come. Here they are to save the day. Interesting how they have them walk down the steps.
Oh, you there, young man.
You're Rean Schwarzer, correct?
You got it. Interesting how they have them go down the stairs. Yes, that's right. I'm honored to make your acquaintances.
As am I. Stories of the Ashen Chevalier have certainly made their rounds across
That's
Calvin.
Chevalier.
Though I suppose not all of those stories paint you in the best light.
You're one to talk with that mustache. Are your eyebrows have more hair than your mustache? That's perfectly understandable. ... However, I hear you single-handedly destroyed a number of our tanks and gunships without killing those within. It was quite a feat which spiked my curiosity. I see now why Lady Mildine, Princess Elfin, and General Le Guin hold you in such high esteem. You know your hair's got a peninsula, and I think I'm getting that myself. Thank you for your compliment. Please accept my apologies about your tanks. It was nothing personal. You also played a part in the Northern War, didn't you? Romaferia and Northumbria have been on friendly terms for quite a long time. It pains me greatly we could not do anything to help them. Your involvement contributed to a significant reduction in casualties among their citizens, though. You give me too much credit. I wasn't acting alone. No need to be so humble. I heard stories about you from refugees who fled to Romaferia when Northumbria was incorporated into the Erebonian Empire. Haha, modesty is a fine trait, but it starts to grate when people downplay their achievements. Acknowledgement. Acknowledge your importance. You're the person whose actions may very well decide the fate of the world after all. Okay. I'm the man. Oh, Rean just, heh. I'm still playing time until dinner. If you'd like to chat some more, I'll be in my room. Since the acting Duke Alberia and the fellow from the Inspectorate are here, why not invite them along as well? I've already informed them. I'll also return to my room until dinner. Feel free to come and see me if you wish. I'd like to speak with you, Lloyd, too. I'll go tell him.
I was wondering when we'd finally get the chance to meet.
Easygoing voice. I don't think it's so easygoing, though. Mine might be kind of easygoing, but... Lieutenant General Bright, I've heard much about you from Master Kafai. I don't think I've had a chance to introduce myself to you either, Your Highness. I am Rean Schwarzer, son of Baron Theo Schwarzer and discipline of the Eight Leaves One Blade School. I currently work as an instructor for Thor's Military Academy branch campus. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintances.
Oh, no. The pleasure is all mine, I assure you.
She loves him too.
In a way, this feels closer to a reunion than a first meeting. Perhaps it's due to all the tales I've heard about you from Tita and Josette. And from Prince Olivert as well.
I'm honored to hear that. What happened to Oliver was truly heartbreaking. He had this grand vision, you see. It wasn't only with Erebonia's best interests in mind, but those of the entire continent. Yes, he was a great man. Victor and Toval were great friends of mine as well. Their deaths have dealt a heavy blow to Erebonia. I'd even say it was felt by the whole continent. But now we must carry on without them. even if that involves committing to something they most certainly would have never approved of. Huh? If you'd like, why don't you stop by and chat for a bit before dinner? Cassius, you want to talk to Estelle, don't you? Yes, and others as well. Renee, Tita, Agate. Please do come along, Reen. We could reminisce about Master Kafai together. I'll definitely stop by. Bye!
Oh, Reen! There you are!
It's a girl's voice from somewhere. Probably behind me. Or off to the left. Hello, Princess Elfin. Are you alright? Of course. I was a little shocked by the topic of discussion, but I suppose it's good we were all able to talk about all those pressing issues. Princess, I see. I'm sorry I couldn't reveal the intended scale when I invited you, Princess. I trust you understand this was an inevitable reality. Your presence here was of the utmost importance. Yes, I'm well aware of my responsibilities. With neither father nor my brothers available, it falls to me to represent the Imperial family and remain informed of the current situation. Would you be so kind to share some of that information with us at dinner? That's the plan. We could use more input on the matters at hand. I'll be cooperating, of course. Bracers, Special Support Section, and Representative Thor should make their voices heard too. We need to know where they intend to position themselves between Operations Jormunger and Jorger and Limerage. Okay. Dinner won't be served for a while, though. Princess Elfin, at least, why don't you join me for tea? You may join as well, Instructor, but the topic of discussion will most likely not interest you, given how easily you embarrass. Sai, I can never tell if you're joking, Muse, but the tea sounds good to me. Yes, count me in too. Or maybe Claudia could join us. Yes, I'll extend an invitation to her. Instructor Reen, will you be coming? Please do. If you insist, I'll see you in a bit. Alright. Oh, she's gonna curtsy me. Okay. There's still time to chat with the attendees before dinner. I might want to speak with the President and then Prince Albert. There's Lieutenant General Bright, too. They've moved to new locations. So we have to go... Taka. We're gonna do some more talking. Hope we get some action soon. The entire last stream was just story. I think. It's hard to remember. Someone's talking to the other side of the door. Wowzers, an exclusive interview like this sure makes my day. What are your thoughts on the developments since the trade conference 2 years ago? What are your take on the recent incidents in the Principality? Haha, I've answered those questions for the Arden Press before. Grace, was it? Listen, Grace, it's all very well you should motivate, but you should think about your questions beforehand. Eric? Somehow it hurts so much being told off by a stunningly beautiful woman. Sounds like they're in the middle of a spirited conversation. Let's visit the lateral waiting room. Let's go in here. Chloe, how are you? I'm well, thanks. I haven't seen you in 3 months. Good to see you again, Joshua, Renee. And you guys. Been a while, but we're back in style. Tita and I saw you in Grand Soul before we set off for Erebonia. I'm so happy to see you again. It was the same for us, but we headed to Calvert instead. How was the Queen? She's Queenie. She's quite the bee. Very well, thanks for asking after her. She couldn't have attended with all the attention around her right now. That's why she sent me in her stead. I see she needed someone trustworthy to represent her. If these talks are so crucial, why didn't Julian and Ziki come too? I imagine some urgent matters kept them busy. Ziki hardly has a moment to spare working as a messenger. I see. Based off of that, I suppose I have an idea what's going on. Yeah. I thought people were just making small talk over tea and biscuits in there. Can you share anything else with us, Dad? We haven't seen each other in half a year and it's straight to business with you. Neither hello nor hug. So I suppose the father can't hope for love and affection from his daughter once she's left the nest and become independent. Don't guilt trip me for not being all sugary sweet. You seem well anyway. You too, Sunshine. Joshua, everything alright? Yes, all's going well. So you're Chloe's bodyguard today, Dad. Oh, don't tell me that's all you're here for. I won't believe it. Well, have some patience. Everything will be revealed soon enough. Renee, did you get any taller? You've grown a lot since I last saw you. Heh. I'm only taller by 5 regi. I'll catch up with Tita at this rate. No, please don't. It took me so long to stop looking like a kid. Don't worry, Tita. You're still growing. I was 16 and still had just joined the Bracers when she was your age. It feels like it was only yesterday when we were traveling together around the library together. I was a sky bandit back then. You might be older now still, but you're as happy-go-lucky as ever, I see. That's not the worst thing in the world, is it? As for you, Josette, even grown up, you never lost that little urchin attitude. It's part of my personal identity, you see. Hey, Tita, I hear you've been making a name for yourself. Yeah, it's called Tita. Your grandfather had nothing but praise for you. Apparently, though, your mom worries about you a lot. Ah, she's just a worrywart. I write her a lot to let her know I'm fine. I already messaged her to tell her everything's okay. She mentioned something about getting his comeuppance next time she sees him too. She said she was drafting a new research project involving human test subjects. What? Mom. Hey, it's like the good old times again. That reminds me, Estelle, did you see Zen when you were in Calvert? I did. It was just before I came to Erebonia. He asked me to pass messages for him to my dad and a few others. Oh, brilliant. Excuse me. They got lots to talk about. I don't want to interrupt their fun. I should come back later. Oh, hello, Instructor Reen. Reen, sorry we got so caught up in catching up. We didn't mean to exclude you. Come on, shy boy, come join us. Sure, if you don't mind. More taka. More taka. Excuse me. I still don't have to read this taka. Blah. Blah. Give your dad a hug. You seem to be enjoying yourselves, but there's no surprise when good friends get together. They bonded during the orbital shutdown phenomenon. It's regrettable Overt is no longer with us, and Sherazard has gone missing as well. Regardless, we must stay focused on what's ahead of us and try to remain optimistic. Wise words. By the way, I'm happy to see you, Ring. Master Kaffa has been telling me about you. This young man has even more potential than you, Cassius. I'm sure that's not true. He must have been teasing you. Besides, there are so many complicated factors now. Basically, about your background, I've heard about it. I'm aware of the cause of your altered appearance, too. Don't worry too much about what you can't change, Ring. By the way, I got a letter about you a month ago from a certain man on an eastward journey. You don't mean Master Kafai? But I was still in prison then. Yes, so I hear. Oddly enough, it was foretold in the letter. Whether it was prophecy or just wild guess, I cannot tell. Oh? A frighteningly accurate prediction. What was the letter about exactly? That's the thing, Rain. In light of the current situation, I'm afraid I cannot tell you get, huh? It's not the right time nor place, but to give you a rough idea, it's about the final art of our School of Swordsmanship. And this time of turbulence, become that flashing blade which illuminates darkness, even if for the briefest moment. Once I return from the east and we have reunited, I shall impart to you my final teachings. The arts our master taught me include Helix and Void, but you, Rain, may go even beyond that. Of course, you understand that seeking mastery of our style will be most difficult. Of course, the way I am now, I'm not confident I could ever achieve it. But you're right, this isn't the place to discuss it. Just keep in mind, we'll come back to it later. I'll relay our master's message for you once the circumstances are right. We get to see where today's talk leads to, but at the time with great determination and sacrifice are needed, there is no doubt to come. I'll be ready for it. They got on like a house on fire. Yeah, you couldn't tell they only just met. Having something unique in common like their fighting style brings people together. I feel a bit jealous now. Looks like we're the outsiders. I totally get that, though. Agate, are you feeling left out, too? Nah, why would I care? Hello? Excuse me for butting in, I'm from the Crossbell News. Can you please spare some time for some really quick interview? No. Your Grace, serious about your job, I see. I bet Niall and Dorothy gave you a list of questions for the attendees, too. Yes. Cassius and Claudia agreed to the interview. Many others excused themselves to give them some privacy. Everyone's been moving around. There's still time to chat with the attendees before dinner. Okay. Talk to Alyssa. Ah, so your mom moved to Erebonia? Yes, she couldn't stand Crossbell after splitting with my father, who's Kelvedarian. She moved in with her relatives. That's 10 years ago. Time flies. Oh, I think you've told me about this before. 5 years back, maybe. I feel like I'm forgetting something. That rings a bell, actually. Ding, ding, ding. Distant relatives of the noble MacDonald family from Crossbell. They'll be the barons of Eastern Lumiere, if I'm not mistaken. How did you... of course, you're from Lumiere yourself. You're right. Family trees can get so sprawling, you can't easily tell who's related to whom. In fact, that Baron family are also distant relatives of my family. Oh? But that's why your hair color is the same. Are they sisters? That's pearl gray shade is definitely unusual. The two of you have almost the exact same shade. Yeah, that's right. It runs in the family. We may be very distant cousins, but we share the same blood nonetheless. I have no idea. Hey, what a pleasant surprise. Aurelia Le Guin, the cousin. Glad to have you as my family, Ellie McDowell. Ah, that's so sweet. Oh, now I'll tense up every time I talk to Ellie. Why would that be, Miss Crawford? Eek, no reason. So there's hints of the close ties between Erebonia and Crossbell, which stretch back centuries. Crossbell's also been cooperating with Calvert for a long time, and now they're in this awkward position when they have to choose between one ally and another. It feels so wrong. Oh? Alyssa. That's precisely the case. I probably don't have any right to say it, but concern my own position. No, your honesty is much appreciated. It was wonderful to talk to you, Alyssa. Same. Thank you for all your advice, Ellie. It's really nice to have a company of people who really get along. Yes, friendship is beautiful, isn't it? I heard about Ellie's mother, or at least someone who seemed like her, living in an Erebonian town. I guess that's what was nagging at me earlier. Well, it's nagging. Alyssa and Ellie met in Crossbell and have been good friends ever since. Joan's friends with both of them. She's an amiable girl. But I wouldn't have seen it coming that they'd be chatting with the principal. Ah! How you doing? Very well, thank you. Just chatting up with some friends. We've exchanged messages since we met 3 months ago. Discovered there was some of the shared interests. Huh? Shh, Ellie, don't tell him. What interest? Why is Alyssa so crazy about? Oh wait, I have an idea. Never mind. Ellie, let's talk about that in private. Hey, okay, we're in a similar situation anyway. I'm sure you have nothing to worry about. You'd be surprised. Next time I feel like a kid lost in the dark. You'll get there in time. Schwartz, you can probably learn a thing or two from them as well. I'm not sure what the conversation is about, but I'm always reminded that there's plenty of room for me to learn from others. Dun, dun. Oh. I spotted my little Elise Schwartzer. Princess Alphen's trusted friend and sister of the Aston Chevalier. Your friends with name Mildine too, aren't you? We need to talk. If you have questions with my friends, I'd rather you talk to them directly. I'm no gossip. Oh, I wouldn't try to drag you out in embarrassing stories about your friends. Nothing of the sort. You're a reporter from Crossbell, so she's got an next target on a big hunt for a big scoop. That makes it sound like some fierce predator. The only thing ferocious about me is my intellect. Excuse me. Hold on, aren't you Ash Carbide? The guy who shot the Emperor? What's the truth behind that story? How did it feel to pull the trigger? I don't know. What did I get myself into now? Oh my gosh, and that tall gentleman, is that the 8th Dominion of the Gralsitter? Several topics I'd love to interview you in depth about. Not that I'm totally in the dark about what you've been up to. Wazy, Kevin, and Rise have already spilled some beans. Did they? Don't be shy. I don't bite. Seems like this is the party corner. Brilliant. Here comes a hero to join us. That's perfect. Let's go to the empty room over there so we can all talk in private. I'm not against interviewing myself, but I'd rather Much rather you didn't hound my friends and family for one. Ah, sorry, I got a little ahead of myself there, I guess. If there's anything I can tell you, there's quoted in the report, like maybe just a short comment from each of you. That's not reasonable, sure. Dude, speak for yourself. What if I give her dirt on you? You're being a little overprotective. Ah, typical Rean, really. Oh my goodness, I gotta talk to all these people in all these rooms. Wow. I guess it's gonna be another hour of story. Hey Rain. Don't make stranger come join us. What have you guys been talking about? Jaeger troop movements and stuff related to the war. As well as Ouroboros' presumed plans. I'm wondering about those things too. Right now it looks like they're both serving the Imperial government just like the gnomes. That's a real nasty mix if you ask me. The old Northern Jaegers and Nidhogg are in a different situation though. Yeah, the Imperial Defense Force forced them to cooperate using hostages. They're currently looking for a chance to free them. What they do from now on depends on whose pocket they find themselves in this time. Shirley's came over the Red Constellation, so you ensure they're in tune with Ouroboros' schemes. As for Zephyr, the gnomes hired them, and it's ultimately up to the boss to decide what they do. I don't know the details yet. There's also the enhanced Jaegers, like the troops previously commanded by the faceless Angios. Jin encountered those in Hamel. And between all of you, you've got a decent intelligence network to draw on. You make for a really good team. Yeah. And if there's some info we don't have, the Divine Blade and the Golden Rakshasa are here too. It's hard to believe Museum managed to get all these guns under one, guys under one roof. I thought it was guns.
Guns, guys.
Guns, guys. Ah, what's the difference?
It's E-time. Description is don't.
Look, more talking.
Oh no.
Claudia, I'm terribly sorry about earlier. I was so taken aback I lost my composure. Thank you for being so kind to me. Oh, of course, considering the subject was no wonder you became agitated. You have a huge responsibility on your shoulders as representative of the Imperial family. Thank you for being so understanding. Now that rings alarm bells. I'll just wait for the announcement at dinner and try not to worry for now, but... Thanks for showing me the top of your head. Please let me introduce myself. I'm a still bright member of the Liberal Bracer Guild. It's a great honor to meet you in person, Princess Elfin. Hey, there's no need to be formal with me. I've heard so much about you from my brother, I feel like we're already friends. Ah, Oliver was a dear friend, and what happened to him was a terrible shock. He went out of his way to get permission for me and Joshua to visit Hamel once things had settled down in Liberal. I still can't believe he's dead. It's awful, and I really wish I could have done something. If only one of us had been in Heimdallr at the time, me, Joshua, or Scaria. But our grief surely pales in comparison to what you feel. So thank you for having been a good friend to my brother. I felt a little better knowing there were so many people who cared so much about him. Oliver was a very thoughtful and brave man, and a lot of fun to be around. When I was hesitant about whether to accept the duty as a crown princess, he gave me the push I needed. Right off the roof. He also fostered friendly relations between Harbonia and Liberal. Despite his airhead appearance, he was a smart leader. Thank you, Claudia. Sobbed. He teased me for being so easily moved to tears. He'd come out with a line like, at a time such as this, I'd like for you to be the ray of sunshine which makes courage bloom. Yeah. Ha! Must be a Japanese thing. It does sound like him. Regrettably, I never had the chance to meet Prince Oliver in person. However, I heard about him encouraging greater integration and cooperation between all nations of the continent. Please accept my sincere condolences, Princess Elfin. Thank you, Lucy. By the way, you were in Claudia's upperclassmen at school, weren't you? Really? Oh my gosh! I'm a Valley girl! Actually, Chloe did tell us about the lector person before. Does that mean... That's correct. I went to Liberal to study the Genis Royal Academy. I was on the student council together with Lector Arundel. You two looked after me really well back then. It made my school life that much more enjoyable. What a small world. It's a small world after all. He's an iron-blooded member of the intelligence division. He's a stranger person than I thought. But wait, the famously beautiful vice president who'd forced the student council president to listen to her no matter what? Sorry, that'd be me. Chloe, I wish you didn't spread exaggerated rumors about me. Yeah, sorry, but they're not exaggerated at all. Even now, I can't forget you saying that brute force is the most important asset one can have. You're embarrassing me now. Phantom helping. Wait, did I really say that to you? Not directly, I overheard your conversation with Hans. So you're really following me around and listening to my conversation with other students? Ha 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 ha! Tee hee hee hee.
You laughed at what I said?
That's what Princess Elfin said. I wouldn't have guessed they'd know each other so well. Oliver was beloved by people from different backgrounds. It's a real shame he died so young. I'd be curious to hear more about the Claudia and Lucy's school life, too. Alex stands the opposite side of his former classmates. I'm sure I'll cross paths with him again, and with Claire, too. Oh, I gotta talk again?
More talking.
Sorry, Rain. We're talking among ourselves and leaving you out. Heh. I can get going and free up some space. No, please don't leave on my account. You haven't seen each other in a while. I'm sure you have a lot to talk about. Getting to exchange a few words with you in person has already been a great honor. With luck, we'll meet again and have a longer chat then. You're too humble, Reen. Indeed. That reminds me, weren't you one of the testers of the Orbital Communications Network? I also got a test account from Reen, whatever. When you say we exchanged network addresses. Uh-oh. She wants his phone number. Are you sure? Hey, why not? Don't be shy. Princess Claudia doesn't limit her circle of friends to the upper classes. When she enrolled at the academy, she did so under an assumed name in order to be treated like any normal girl. Lucy, I don't need a spokesperson. Okay. Let me be spokeswoman. Okay, in that case, I'll gladly give you my network address. It shouldn't be a diplomatic issue if I were playing a game together, I hope. You can now play Palm against Princess Claudia. I can lose to her in that game? Awesome. Oh, let's talk to the president of Rocksmith. Thank you for the invitation, President Rocksmith. There's no need to be so tense in my presence, Machias. Would you like a cup of coffee? There's tea for me and coffee with milk and sugar for Miss Herschel. The team covers information agency is staffed with only the very elite. Well, their human resources are going to change now as the new party takes over for me. Is that right? Tiller Herschel, we met at the West Zimmeria Trade Conference 2 years ago, wasn't that right? If my memory doesn't fail me, you had coffee with milk and sugar at the banquet. Hi, your memory is excellent. I'm Samuel Rocksmith, President Calvert's. As most people in power, he easily dominates the atmosphere with his presence. Even though he's on his way out, he's still a very influential man. Oh, I gotta talk to them again? My welcome, Ashton Chevalier. Unfortunately, I haven't been informed what your beverage of choice might be. I want a soda. But since you're so well versed in Eastern culture, perhaps green tea would be like it. I like green tea. In fact, I'm actually legit drinking green tea tonight. I have iced green tea. I think if I dropped the invite for chat, I wouldn't want to make a nuisance of myself. I imagine there's plenty of others who would like to speak with you today. By the way, I wanted to ask you your opinion on your colleague, Toa Herschel. We say their conflict resolution talents are perfect for Sid. President Rocksmith? I didn't see that coming. Heard you're bold, sir, but I never thought you'd suggest something quite that bold. I'm nowhere near as audacious as the Chancellor. Soon I won't have much authority anymore. However, I really can't stand seeing young talent not being put to good use. It's quite fortunate we met today. If you have any gifted friends who might be inclined to move to Calvert, let me know. I'll gladly welcome them with open arms. Haha, sorry, no one comes to mind. You're a good one not to be around the bush. Well, at least he's quick and direct, and I like that. Alright, up and to the left. They'll take care of this hallway. It's been a long time since we last met. We haven't had a chance to speak since the trade conference 2 years ago. It's nice to see you. And you. I'm glad you all seem to be doing so well. Label Dean, it's also the first time in many years I have the pleasure to talk with you. Well, while I wouldn't call these ideal circumstances, I'm delighted you're a most impressive young lady. Yeah, you flatter me. It's good to have time to chat about non-official affairs, yes. So you've known each other for a while? Prince Albert was a good friend of my late father. Yes, we met for the first time over a decade ago. Somehow, Alfred and I got on famously right from the start. We talk about politics, economics, social issues from evening until the early morning. The lakes and marshes of Meraferia enchanted Alfred, and he'd often bring his family there, and they went to a cave, and there was a bunch of bats. It takes me back. I was just a little girl back then. I vaguely remember our visits. I mostly played with your niece. She was the same age as me, I believe. I'd like to see her again. She's gone. She's dead. Oh, that's right. You really liked her, didn't you? Speaking of your niece. That's right. I haven't seen her in ages. There's been some rumors going around about her. Besides, she's become intractable lately. As her uncle, I want to protect her, but she's certainly not making it easy. Sometimes I think she does it just to spite me. He's gotten really grumbly. Most care about his niece, though he does seem a bit overprotective. Oh, he's always been like this. Apologies for the digression. I didn't mean to bore you with family issues. Meraferia will gladly provide you with assistance, be it human resources, medical services. If the SSS needs anything, do not hesitate to let them know. Tio, I'm aware of your family situation. Is there anything I can do? Thank you for the kind offer. It's not as bad now, though. We've even been keeping in touch more. Oh, that's a relief. Prince Albert's a friendly guy. And Muse has known him for a long time. Looks like she made connections early on. Let's say hello to the prince, too. Don't need to. I gotta go to all 4 of these rooms. Hi, I'm Kia Bannings. Renee told me lots about you, Tita. Nice to meet you. I'm Tita Russell. I can't believe it, Renee. She's so cute. Yeah, that's how most people react to her. Excuse me. You must be Angelica Rogner. Nice to meet you. I'm Renee Bright. ... I hear you've been trained in the Taito style by Kalika Roran. Oh, that's cool. Nice to meet you, Angie. Or you like Jellica better? This is paradise. What? I'm Angelica. Are you okay? We're only 2,000 ards above ground, but it seems like we're flying close to the heavens. Tita alone is an angel, but the 3 of you form an angelic choir. No, remain calm, Angelica. Celine, what's going on here? Beats me, I was just having a nap and woke up to this. God, I can't say anymore. Angelica? She's faster than lightning. Haha, hug attack, squeeze. Ah, my life is complete. Okay, that's awkward. You're just gonna stand by and watch this happen, huh, Reed? I'm just waiting for things to calm down so I can say hello. Banana. Talk to the Brigadier General. Hi, Schwarzer. Hey, guys. Seeing armed force movements on different fronts? Rosine, I'm surprised to see you with them. I've got my reasons. As you overheard, we're trying to get a better picture of where each militarized faction is allocating its resources. Besides the Westland Army, I wanted to check in with the Bracers and the armored divisions too. Also looking into the armored division's movements. It seems they've been established a new squad. The guild's also keeping an eye on the situation. We're tracking high-ranking Jagger corp movements and engaging in neighboring countries' responses. They'll have a training with you guys. Ah, I see. You're gathering intel on military movements, Rosine? Excuse me, sorry about that. As a matter of fact, yes. There's an organization that understands the fears of the Great Twilight more than the Septian Church. The details are confidential, and we've already decided on which message to take. Seriously? I can only imagine what that means. Well, I'll benefit from cooperating. In that case, we'll return to Operations Millie Mirage at dinner. Now let's just take a break. Sounds like a plan. I can't wait to hear the details of the operation. I've got to be patient. Let's walk around some more. Do we have any updates on the Hercules? We're still unable to look at them with the Ramdo's stealth function and mobility of the gunship that are very hard to track down. We're not going to give up, of course. I heard you requested the Bracers Guild help with this. Yes, although they haven't been able to dig up any new information since we lost sight of Hercules in the canyon. Heard about that from the Guild too. I guess when Special Forces squad equipped with the latest technology want to disappear, it'll take a miracle to track them down. Ramda, we first seen hand in Heimdall how its spatial projection function can seriously impede pursuit. If they only surrender, they'd be room for negotiation with Erebonia, but maybe the curse has progressed too far for that. The Dark Dragon and the members of the Hercules squad into its kin back in Heimdallr. The Great Twilight must have taken that and twisted them into Noctfamilia. Noctfamilia? Those are the vampires from Erebonian folklore, if I'm not mistaken. Is there a way to make them human again? It's possible if you act quickly. If you find them within a few days, it should be fine. So that's our time frame. Kelly, let me know if you pick up their trail. We might be able to help with some capacity. You're volunteering to help? That's much appreciated. Okay. One more. And maybe we get some action. Okay, talk to him. Cassie, how have you been? When was the last time we saw each other? Goodness, 4 years at least. I'm sorry I missed your A-rank promotion ceremony. Hey, I coincided with the horrible shutdown phenomenon, so there's no help in it. Thank you for writing my recommendation. You're welcome. Have you managed to come to terms with Colonel Valstein passing away? Yes. I've been lucky surrounded by good supportive friends from the Bracer Guild and my wonderful students. Laura is one of my students. Kurt is a student of his students. I'm Laura at our side. You, sir, are a legend. It's really an honor to meet you in person. I'm very glad to meet you too, Laura. It's a pleasure working with Victor on the Bracer Guild branch bombing case. He praised you highly. Please accept my sincere sympathy. His loss must have hurt you deeply. Thank you, sir. My father once told me that seeing your prowess with the staff firsthand would be a beneficial experience for me. I believe you were self-taught? I quite learned from the basics from a friend. I also took the liberty of incorporating teachings from the 8-Leaf School into it. I'm very impressed, sir. Only those who are really talented will do so. Kurt, why don't you introduce yourself? Yes. I'm Kurt Vander, younger brother of the Muller Vander of the nephews of Zax Vanders. Pardon me, sir, you're quite the hero. I feel a bit overwhelmed. Take it easy. Not all they say about me. I met your brother and uncle, and I don't believe I've ever spoken to your father. If things calm down, I'd like to pay a visit to your folks. I fear I've been rather impolite in not having done so yet. Why? Oh, not at all. I'm sure mother and father will be thrilled to meet you. Cassius had connections both in the army and among the bracers. I could spend the whole evening talking to him about the swordplay, but it'd be rude to monopolize him like that. I'll relay our master's message for you once the circumstances are right. With the time and great determination and sacrifice you need, there's no doubt to come. I'll have to be patient. I'm gonna talk to him again. Oh, Reen. Hey, come and join us. Don't mind if I do. By the way, was the Silver Streak an acquaintance of yours, Cassius? Who? Yeah, she was a pupil of mine at the guild. It's very odd that she's vanished in the thin air. Yes, no one seems to be able to track her down her whereabouts. If she's at the Gnomes HQ, would it be possible that the Ouroboros abducted her? No, Shara has a relative who's among the ranks of Ouroboros. But I hard to believe that they'd kidnap her. Think I know what you mean. Sherazard mentioned her to me when we were out drinking. Enforcer number 7, the Bewitching Bell, yes? Duvally. Hey, Frost Glacier, thanks for the doodles. The episode showed up in Level during the Orbital shutdown too, but it's unknown whether she was still alive. It seems she hasn't been reported back to Ouroboros since the incident. They haven't written her off as dead yet, though. I assume the situation is similar to Blue Box. And she's out there somewhere going about her business. The Silver Streak was like a sister to her, though she wouldn't keep quiet if Ouroboros had abducted her. I see. Might as well drop that line of investigation. My. If it isn't Stallwitter Duvally the Swift. You seem very well informed. I could say the same about you, especially considering you don't have ties to Ouroboros yourself. I understand now why the Faceless was remarkable wary of you. My lord is also intrigued by you. If you don't mind, I'd like to hear how you achieved mastery in so many disciplines. Oh, swordplay, military arts, strategy. And I hear your master's discipline is just like you. As I've heard rumors about him. Just for reference, if you could tell us if there's any particular trick to it. Not that it impresses me all that much, but both you and our side were renowned as the finest swordsmen alike, so it must count for something. Oh boy, she has an attitude. Can think of of many honors greater than the Maiden of Legend herself taking an interest in me. Well, ask me anything. I'll try to satisfy your curiosity, although we may not be able to go into much detail this time. That's fine. First of all, why did you come up with the sword and switch the staff? Duel is so easy to read. That's part of her charm. She's polite to everyone and she doesn't look down on others even if they're her enemy. As expected, the Steel Maiden's discipline. I look her up as well. Hey Noah! Well, I'm streaming. You're being loud. Can't find anything to do? Her again? Hello, Duvalie the Swift. I was just wandering around. You can drop the epithet. If you can be informal with Lloyd Estelle, why not me? It's just a slip of the tongue. Besides, there's not much of an age difference between the three of us. I feel I should be more respectful when talking to you. Are you implying that, from your point of view, I'm old? Yep, you an old maid. Sorry to tell you. No, definitely not. She's what, 23? She doesn't even look it. But she's probably best to drop it. Anyways. Lady Mildine has more influence in the higher echelons than I imagined. She's gathered prominent political figures, bracers, and special sports section, and all of you under the same roof. Even the Black Fang and the Angel of Slaughter are present. Ah, that's right. Do you know them from Ouroboros? Ouroboros. Yes. I'm familiar with the Blade Lord who often work with them. Joshua Estray left Ouroboros around the time I joined. I see. That must have been when the Brights took him in. What you guys talking about? Swapping some sexy little secrets, I hope. Boy. Is that all you ever think about? How's the intel gathering going, Crow? Well, Randall's chatty as ever, but it's Joshua that's a real treasure trove of info. And isn't it kind of weird Vita's not here? It's because she's in the PlayStation. Yeah, Emma seemed confused about it a bit too. You both know what she's like. Probably busy working on some grand scheme behind the scenes. Have you noticed tension in the air? I guess. I think I know what you mean. It's not just you, Awakeners, that are particularly sensitive to it. Everyone gathers here seems to sense something ominous brewing. Whether it's in connection to the Operation Millie Mirage or not, we'll likely find out at dinner. Oh yeah. There's a rivalry too. The calm before the storm might be over pretty soon. It could be just me, but we better be prepared. Yeah, I agree. We'll see what happens. I'll keep my eyes and ears open and see what else I can learn. My apologies for disturbing your pleasant conversation. Hey man. Dinner served. Dinner is now ready to be served. May I please ask you to proceed to the banquet hall? Why, of course, butler.
Butler?
Guess the butler doesn't get a name. Yeah, thanks.
That sucks.
Oh, thanks for the bow. That was very swooning. I remember the food here being pretty good. Yes, it was cooked by the finest chefs those Erebonian nobles could find. Those fish burgers of yours are quite delectable as well, I must admit. Yeah, sometimes simple is the best. I try to remember, honestly, that was a while ago, and they weren't really anything special, just a quick and easy meal. Hey, I've been looking for you guys everywhere. Well, we're right in the middle. This big, giant room. Just look in the middle of the big, giant... Dinner's about ready to start. Great, I'm starving. The discussion that follows is the main course, isn't it? That's right, it's more than just a social event. Let's get going. It's rude to keep the food waiting. It's rude to keep the food waiting. The food's like, no, don't leave me. Hurry up, get here fast. Food doesn't talk. What? What are they talking about? Foods. It's impolite to keep the food waiting. Afterward, all the guests, including leaders of each state, gathered together at the banquet. A modest but wonderful meal thus began, provided by Duchess Cayenne. A bit of spicy. Ooh, and we have a piano. Lunch started a bit later, but the guests thoroughly enjoyed the fare and had lively conversations. It was a unique opportunity for the attendees and many meaningful exchanges were made, except at the kids' table. Sometime later. Enjoyable as was the meal came in, everyone then transitioned to the meeting portion of the event. The details of Millie Mirage were revealed.
you see before you is an outline of Operation Meal Mirage. Our response to Operation Jormungand.
Jormungand. Looks like a multi-pronged attack.
I knew it.
It doesn't stray too far from what we'd expected, but even so.
Seeing it all laid out like this makes it overwhelmingly real.
I get that a plan this crazy is probably our only hope, but still.
The Empire has drastically increased its military might, due largely in part to the draft. Current estimates number their forces at 1.2 million strong.
Wow.
And that figure will only rise before the fighting actually starts.
On the other hand, Calvard's military can barely scrape together 800,000, at most. Even if they try to boost their ranks with a draft of their own, that probably won't go over too well, judging by their last election.
Not to mention the huge difference in weapons and resources between the two countries. In terms of both aerial combat fleets and core tank units, Erebonia has a clear advantage. And that's without taking Panzer Soldats
So
into
dig
account.
in, play defensively.
Yeah. There's no way the Vern Company's production line could even hope to keep up. What's more, the Empire now has an excuse to throw all the new technology it's been developing into this war.
With that in mind, it's entirely possible that the Civil War was nothing more than an opening move.
Ah.
I agree. It seems likely. The same could be said of the Orbital shutdown phenomenon, or even the 100 Days War. It is our belief that these events were simply set up, all to pave the way for Operation Jormungand.
Damn it. Those monsters.
And Meal Mirage is your plan for how to hold back Operation Jormungand.
Yep.
We have with us the Republican Army of Calvard, the Royal Army of Liberl, the Remiferian and Viceland armies.
Together we can win.
As well as troops from Le Mans and Orid, and even resistance cells acting out of Crossbell in Northumbria.
You intend to coordinate every one of these individual forces united under a single banner to suppress the Imperial Army from all sides.
That's exactly right.
As you stated before, Calvard's armed forces total 800,000 strong. The Viceland army should bring that number up by about 100,000.
The Principality of Remiferia is prepared to lend its aid as well, to the effect of approximately 80,000 troops. Add to that figure an additional 120,000 from the Kingdom of Liberl.
Further, we can count on receiving around 20,000 soldiers from Le Mans and Orid combined, as well as another 20,000 from Crossbell and Northumbria.
You want to keep in track here, math?
And this is to remain off the record, but we're expecting roughly 30,000 in reinforcements from Arteria as well.
Naturally, we plan on bringing Jaegers into the fight too. We've been scouting out Jaeger corps big and small. All in all, I'd say we're looking at a good 40,000 extra soldiers.
Altogether a combined total of 1.2 million. Finally putting us on even ground with Operation Jormungand.
A war like this would stretch over almost half the continent.
Resistance cells from Crossbell, huh? That must be Sonia and the others.
Yeah, Muriel told me a bit about it, but...
Northumbria too? That have something to do with the movements we heard about there?
Yeah. The resistance there is made up of former members of the Northern Jaegers, who got absorbed into the Imperial Army.
And we got troops from Le Mans and Orid too. That would be their defense forces, no?
That's right. We've actually known about their involvement for a little bit.
I have to say, I'm surprised the High Seat of the Septian Church would choose to involve themselves so directly.
But Rosine mentioned something about this earlier, didn't she?
Yes. The Congregation for Divine Worship is likely deploying the Papal Guard as we speak.
The Imperial Army's technological superiority is undeniable, and we can't underestimate the threat Ouroboros poses either. Further, directing and coordinating all parties involved will prove a tremendously difficult task. That is the purpose of our meeting, to determine who will serve as the key piece in our plan, the cornerstone upon which we can build our success.
Would that be Reen?
I present to you Cassius Bright, Lieutenant General of the Royal Army of Liberl. And, as of today, Supreme
Well,
Commander of Operation Meal
not
Mirage. What?
Now that's what I call a power move.
Oh.
A natural decision. Lieutenant General Bright did head the search and destroy operations against the cult in Crossbell.
What's more, he can already boast having pushed back an Imperial invasion once before. He's the most brilliant tactician of our time, without a doubt.
I should have known.
So you've accepted the position then, Dad? Even after hearing everything that's going to happen as a result of this plan?
I have. This can truly be called the Great War, the likes of which mankind has never seen before. A war that will surely destroy the lives of all it touches, soldiers and civilians alike. Hundreds of thousands of lives. Worst comes to worst, we could see casualties in the millions.
Millions? Yeah. That's definitely possible.
Let's see, they have a million, so that's good.
But at least it will keep the Empire from completely destroying everything.
Yeah, she has a point.
I think I speak for us all when I say this dreadful decision weighs heavily on our hearts. But there are stakes here far more dire than the invasion of Calvard itself. Namely, Erebonia's 2 Septarians, as well as its curse, which spreads further and further with every land it conquers.
It's all connected.
If we don't act soon, the Republic will fall to the Empire's advance, drowning the entire nation in its curse. It would then only be a matter of time before the surrounding countries fell as well, until finally all of Zemuria is in the curse's grasp. All for the sake of reviving the ultimate being, the Great One. This we must avoid, above all else. If this dreadful decision is the only chance we have of saving our world, then so be it.
This whole catastrophe began in Erebonia. Though I can't personally agree to this plan, as a member of the Imperial family, I must allow it. Your Highness.
This is the consensus we have reached. I trust you understand now the reason we've gathered here.
There are a few things we must ask you now. Namely, if you accept the necessity of our plan. And furthermore, if we can count on your cooperation.
I'm sure you'd like some time to talk things over amongst yourselves. And with your other allies as well. But as you can probably tell, that's time we just don't have.
Members of the Bracer Guild, Special Support Section, Class 7, and Thor's Military Academy as a whole. We need your answers, here and now. How do you respond?
Let's do it. Just bring it. I want to go one-on-one with the Great One. Nodding. Hoya. Ho. Ho.
When it comes down to it, we, the Special Support Section, are just a single division of the CPD. We're in no position to defy the will of a nation, let alone 4. We understand the severity of the situation.
Have to give a speech, Lloyd.
Be that as it may, we can't, in good faith, lend our aid to this cause.
What?
There has to be a better way to fix this mess we're in. And we won't back down until we figure out how. Not just to stop this war, but so that someday, Crossbell can take back its independence for good.
I see.
You can count the Bracer Guild out of this deal, too.
Ah.
We're the supporting gauntlet of the common people. Their security and protection will always come first.
Okay.
But at the same time, we understand that you have to do this. So instead, we'll make sure to get in touch with our headquarters in Lamon to organize an evacuation plan for all the citizens. And in the meantime, we'll look for our own way to resolve this. Just like the SSS.
Yeah, okay.
That's the Bracer Guild's decision.
Stronger together.
Estelle.
Ah.
With so many of us still missing, we can't claim to speak for Thors as a whole. But we can, at the very least, tell you our decision as Class 7. Become the foundation of the world.
In a sense, those words have shaped our class from the very beginning. A war this big is certainly one way to keep the curse in check. We could be a new foundation afterwards. One built over ruins and destruction. But this curse is not absolute. Though it sweeps across the nation, toying with our fate, there are still those who stand together to resist it. We've seen as much with our very own eyes.
Okay.
We need a plan to try and ensure the safety of the world as we know it. Mille Mirage can be that plan. But, like the Guild and the SSS, we choose to find a third path forward for ourselves. That means dealing with any incidents brought about by the curse, as well as the rivalries. Whether or not that's even possible, I don't know. Time is running out on us even as we speak. Yet still, we'll continue to tread forward, step by step.
By step. Okay.
Because we owe it to Prince Olivert to find that third path he always strove to take.
Rean. Yeah, you're exactly right.
The path Prince Olivert would have wanted.
I see.
My goodness. The naivete of youth never fails to astound me. And yet, as history shows us, it is precisely the young and foolish who bring change to the world.
They do.
The same could be said of those not bound by duty or tradition. Come to think of it, Prince Olivert himself embodied every one of those qualities.
He most certainly did, and his spirit lives on in this next generation.
We have heard your convictions, clear and true. Operation Mille Mirage is already underway. But so long as you respect our position, we will respect yours in turn.
You're under no obligation to participate in our plan. That said, we'd appreciate your help wherever possible. That includes exchanging information, keeping civilians safe, and so on.
We certainly have more room to cooperate than Operation Jormungand does at the very least. You Bracers played a pivotal role in solving the incidents in Liberl, as did the Special Support Section in Crossbell. I eagerly await seeing what such seasoned heroes can bring to the table.
Thank you. We won't disappoint.
I don't know if I'd call us heroes exactly, but we'll help out in any way we can.
Hey there, Chitin Gaming. Thanks for the follow, appreciate you. How you doing?
Oh, that suspense was killing me.
As grim as our circumstances are, we now know what our mission must be.
Right! We gotta do everything we can to stop this war before it begins. And even if it does, we'll just have to find a way to end it.
Right. Our first course of action is figuring out exactly what we can accomplish right now as members of Thors.
What can you accomplish?
I imagine the rivalries will play a key role in that.
Agreed.
You're all pretty gung-ho about this, huh?
How are you guys so relentlessly positive about everything?
It really is the most annoying thing about them, isn't it?
Hello?
Wait a sec.
Who dat? Who dat?
I know that voice.
I don't.
It's him!
Enforcer number 0 of Ouroboros.
Campanella, show yourself.
Sounds like things are coming along nicely over here. Quite the illustrious guest list you have here. I'm almost starstruck.
You're welcome.
Indeed. It would seem the rumors weren't unfounded.
Belle!
The new third Anguis of Ouroboros.
Lady Mildine, my greetings to you and all the leaders of the world gathered here today.
Okay.
I see a number of familiar faces and some new ones too. My, how delightful.
You're welcome.
You must be Dieter Croesus' daughter. I've heard the rumors of what you've become.
A member of an international terrorist organization. Gracious me. The audacity of this woman.
Whoa, he really called it, huh, Lady Val?
You're one to talk.
Hey, this is some party you guys got going on.
And you weren't invited.
Real swanky joint, too. Shame for you, Zephyr's here to crash.
Surely!
Boss!
That means Zeno and Leo are here too, doesn't it?
Sure does. But hey, we're not done with the lineup just yet. Don't think things will go the same for you here as they did at the workshop.
Please excuse our intrusion. Sharon.
George!
So you've come.
Lecter, it's really you.
In the flesh. Long time no see, ladies.
My lady, everyone, I apologize for interrupting such an important
We were almost done anyway.
You should have just kept the mask on, Angie.
If you're all quite finished, it's time I make the final introduction.
Your Highness.
Cedric, why are you...
Ah, if it isn't my dear sister, Alvin. And Class 7. Your little stunt in leaves caused me no end of headaches.
Well, take an aspirin.
You had it coming. That's what you get for getting Elise and Tio all wrapped up in your schemes.
That's simply how it works between us. You should understand this by now. The rivalries are no different. But this particular matter has been entrusted to me by Chancellor Osborne himself.
He's a rival. Maybe we can take him out.
Consider this a little congratulatory visit from us to celebrate the commencement of Operation Meal Mirage.
Were we just hacked?
Yep. They probably used the Society's astral code to infiltrate the system.
Courtesy of Belle and the Fool, I'd assume.
Sounds like we're in for a fair bit of trouble then, huh?
Yeah, they're coming.
What the?
Damn! They brought Imperial warships! No, not quite.
This is the bridge. We have an emergency. We've got 8 Crimson ships approaching on our 9. And with them, a 280 Arch-class airship.
Damn. There's only one ship that friggin' massive.
Oh?
You mean the one that appeared during the orbital shutdown?
That's right. Ouroboros' pride and joy. The largest battleship in the history of mankind.
Doesn't have a name?
The Crimson
There we go.
Ark. The Glorious.
Ah. It's glorious. Now we're finally getting into the action. This looks like 2 hours of story. Wow, that's crazy long. Once I get to a save point, I'll go ahead and stop the stream. Oh, he's got a wolf with him. Panthers with swords in their mouths. Fought them before. They're what, the Jaegers, I think? Well, it's gonna be battle time. Come on, Toads, let's go battle. Actually, it's just as the advance warning predicted. Moreover, it's not one of the Empire ships, one of the Ouroboros aircraft carriers. What does that mean? As if they expected us. At the end of the meeting, Her Highness did make one prediction. Either the Imperial Air Force or Ouroboros battle carrier would appear in these skies. Were it the Imperial Air Force, their progress on the path to violence would be deterred in a sense. The airspace is directly above the borders. The leaders of each stayed on board, and an attack on the ship would simply be too reckless. Even if we were successfully captured, this would have been a massive effect on cross-national negotiations. And that would instantly bring the halt to the war. That's what she's betting on, wasn't it? Things turned out differently, though. They opted for Ouroboros affiliated ship instead. Since Saint and Princess and her and the other leaders entombed here, we should have fuel of fire for war. No. So they're planning to pin on Calvert, aren't they? This is no joke. We can't let this happen. Of course, I swear in the honor of the British Guild. You guys called us here knowing that this would happen, didn't you? Correct, and it worked out perfectly. We still have an escape route available for our guests, so we needn't worry about that. Can I get each of you divided your troops in half and have them accompany you to the hangar? Enemy forces are coming in from the deck. I'd like to remain like the remaining half to help take care of them. Let's divide in 2 groups then, 1 for starboard, 1 for port. Oh, you guys prefer for that far in advance? If that's the command. We don't have time, let's decide on the groups. Be sure to balance teams well. Understood. Marine Lloyd is still divided, and everyone in the teams make sure to keep them balanced. The result was a counterattack led mainly by Marine Class 7 with still Joshua, Marine Lloyd, LATO, Crow, Lutoval, and the others. The members work with Aureola, making way for the hold while ensuring the safety of their national leaders. Okay. If they're all locked in. Not much choice on the teams. Let's go. Come on.
Now, shall we get going?
We shall.
Best of luck, all of you. You guys be careful, okay?
Wait, what in the world's going on? Whatever it is, it looks like we got a real juicy scoop on our hands.
Was she sleeping?
Oh, no you don't.
I believe you all know what it is you must do.
Hey, Noctis. No, this is The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4. Although I'm playing on the PlayStation 5. It's a role-playing game.
We got this.
Just leave it to us.
Just leave it. Bye, everybody. Peter played
Now then,
Destiny
shall
2
we move
yesterday,
out
I think it was.
ourselves? We're currently under attack by Ouroboros' enhanced Jaegers and members of the Red Constellation.
The Red Constellation, huh? Gonna be a real...
Yeah, no kidding.
Gilbert's probably
There's
heading
been
to the enhanced Jaeger.
2 hours of story, and now they're actually going to finally get to
I'll make sure that little Aaron...
battle.
Ash, Kurt, I'll be counting on you.
You got it.
It's a role-playing game.
Understood.
Turn-based.
Yuna, Altina, we're going to need your support as well. Of course! Let's do this, Ellie!
I'll give it my best.
They're
All right,
getting
guys.
fired up.
It's time to begin our joint operation.
They're going to fire in their belly.
Team A will go starboard. Team B, you head port.
Our current position is the rear side of the lower deck. Let's make our way up to the top deck. Take out any intruders you find along the way.
Okay.
Right!
You know, and I'm not a sailor, so I don't know port and starboard and all that, so it's like, just tell me which direction to go. Like, go right.
This will
go
be the
left.
perfect chance to put our teamwork to the test, huh?
You got it.
It's our time to shine, Reen.
Fist bump.
Let's go!
Right. Show me what you've got, Lloyd.
Did their fists ever meet, or they just kind of both air fist pumped? Or what? You can switch between teams A and B in this mission. L2, clear the way to the upper deck. Once you're will emerge, make sure all members are equipped, ready for battle. I guess they are. Let's go here.
Shit!
Rest. Although you hit certain points, they're going to just make you swap anyway. Oh, look. I got free stuff. Alright. There's going to be battles up ahead. But I normally stream for around an hour. Just about every night. Either Twitch or YouTube. And the boys stream usually in the afternoons when they stream. But I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream here, and Noctis is going to be the superstar of the stream. And I thank everyone for watching. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.